Periyava Sharanam, Experiences with His Holiness, narrated by Srimati Kamala Guru Shankar, compiled by T.S. Kodandarama Sharma. Periyaval and we. Continued. When we see the news that Periyaval is staying in a place called Hagari near Bellary, we couldn't contain our joy. This is an episode of 15 or 14 months back before he arrived at Hubli. At that time, my mother-in-law, father-in-law and sisters-in-law had all come over to our home at Hubli. We all start and go to the river banks of Hagari, where we are presently sitting. Periyaval is in his japa inside the cottage. Suddenly, a flame of light at the entrance to the cottage. As if there is no difference between the tender morning sunlight and his saffron clothes, everything looking the same color as a flame of light, he gives us a sudden darshan. That was our first darshan of Periyaval. We look at him, filling our eyes with the sight as if it was a vindication of this birth of ours. But then they say that Periyaval observes a Kashta Maunam on that day. We also remain there till evening and then get back. Like cats that have tasted milk, we go back to him for darshan again and again. It was evening when we went to Hagari the next time. Periyaval is sitting in a new Shiva temple whose construction is in progress. It is more or less dark. A standing brass lamp and a hurricane lamp were burning steadily. We prostrate to him with our children. When my husband told him his name, Guru Shankar, he asked, "Who gave you this name? And for what did they give you this name?" My husband said that it was his grandfather who gave the name and that he did not know the reason for this particular name. Periyaval called an assistant and asked him to write down the name on the floor and show him. He then inquired about our native place and family and asked if the names Vedic school Krishna Iyer and Divan Sesha Iyer had ever fallen on our ears. We said no. Later, when we made enquiries, it was known that they were our ancestors. He asked if we had come by the railway first class or saloon, and he told my husband, till this date, electrical engineers have not been posted in this railway post. How did you get it? Mostly, only those from the operating department are posted as DS. Periyaval inquired my husband about the extent of his jurisdiction. He asked, "Do you know that a road goes parallel to the railway line from Raichur to Pune?" This man, Ivar, said that he did not know. He asked about Polly Vaidyanath. We were then worrying about our son Shankar, who was not able to secure a seat of admission in any of the colleges. I thought within my mind that he should get an admission and come up well in life. I did not even tell this to Periyaval, but my son got a seat in a college due to Periyaval's grace and also studied well. He had Periyaval's anugraham in many respects. I have narrated this episode to tell how Periyaval asked us about our ancestors. Nearly a year after this happened, he did come to Hubli. He stayed at Hampi and Hospit for a long time. Let us now continue Periyaval's Jayanti at Hubli. About 10 o'clock in the night after the Jayanti Vaibhavam was over, we were all with Periyaval. On that day, devotees continued to arrive from different parts of India. They came in special buses and cars. Since we had no accommodation even in that large house of ours, we made arrangements for them to sleep in the portico, car shed and other such places. Periyava is sitting in the light of the standing brass lamp. The hut is otherwise dark. Even people who were standing were not properly visible. He called us inside suddenly and asked, "Here, the one who is standing, isn't she your relative?" We couldn't understand instantly who or what. The woman's voice from behind replied, "Yes, yes." When we came to know it, it was Parvati who was standing then, the daughter of Mysore Chotappa's elder brother. Only then it was known that she was a relative. Periyava asked again, "On that day I asked you about Krishna Iyer and Shesha Iyer. You said you did not know them. So later on you asked someone to know about them. Whom did you ask? Maybe you asked some elder person in the home." And replied to his question himself. He also asked us about the children's education. Then he enquired about the arrangements made on that day for the Jayanti, including details such as how many persons dined. Then he started narrating himself that on that day someone brought Ganga Jalam for his bath, that a mango fruit he had in his hand slipped and fell in the water pot, and that later when he tasted the water it was very sweet. Chuckling to himself like a child, he said that he himself couldn't understand. Did Ganga become sweet because of the mango fruit, or because of Ganga the mango fruit became sweet? And he laughed. He ate a little of that mango fruit and sent the remaining fruit to us. We also received the Ganga Jalam. Both were very sweet. The reason why Ganga tasted as if sugar was added to it was not clear. To be continued. Periyava Sharanam.